Okay, so the lion's share, especially of the online portion of the class, can be our online lecture, and there's going to be associated participation assignments that I'm going to talk about. So lectures are going to be pre-recorded videos that you view on your own pace. I do host them on YouTube. They have built-in closed captioning. I do recommend that you download and use an ad blocker. Even though I have my videos post set as like not for profit, I don't want anything. YouTube still business. They're trying to milk money, and I've like have a decent amount of views across my channel. And so because I make my students watch a lot of videos, so they do put ads sometimes on the videos. I encourage you to download an ad blocker to avoid that. And if you know how to get them to stop putting it, even though their business accounting money. There's also, in addition to the YouTube videos, there are also PDFs of the PowerPoints that I'm using. They are attached to the links as well as in a folder at the bottom of the main page. And I also include PDFs of all of the examples. So that includes typed out examples as well as handwritten work. I will hand work some problems in the videos, and there will be scans of my work that are available. While you're watching the lecture videos, the PowerPoints, there will be throughout them, there will be questions. So there'll be questions in there that will feature a blue border. So there'll be a blue border around the outside of the slides. These questions are not in the PDFs. This is equivalent to attendance, right? You would have to come to lecture and sit through lecture if this is on campus, but because it's online, you have to watch the videos, and answering questions about chemistry is how we're doing attendance. And so that is going to account for 3% of your final grade. So, it's not huge because, these are just kind of practice. These are just little questions where you're doing completion graded, but it's important to note that like 3% is still like a non-trivial chunk. It's going from 87, going from 88 to a 91, right? Pretty big jump if you're not doing it. And the reason why I do this instead of, I saw an example of one time of like put pictures of animals and make the students tell you what animals were in there, which seems kind of silly. So instead of animals, I put chemistry questions that you have to watch and then do that. And if you took an on-campus course with me, these questions would be things we'd be working on in class. And it would be, the idea is, you are seeing this idea. You're seeing something about intermolecular forces, or rate laws, or identifying Bronsted-Lowry acids and bases. And I want you to practice it, right? This way you're getting immediate practice. And this is part of learning, and it's breaking up just passively watching videos. That's the thing. It's like an hour and change of videos per lecture. I don't want you to just be sitting there watching those. That way you're highlighting some important concepts, breaking up this just passively watching videos. So this kind of gets into, this use of participation gets into my kind of view of teaching and learning, which isn't from my anecdotal experience of my own self-learning, my students' learning, and kind of supported by research, that I talk about something in lecture, you learn how to do it, I evaluate you, then you get feedback. And this loop is what we need to move through. Every time, the more times we move through it, the more you learn. So I could lecture on a topic. You could wait till right before the test to cram. You take the test while you're exhausted. I get the test grade back to you like 2 weeks later. This is like a month and change that we're going through the loop. Not going to have much learning. With using the participation questions, I lecture on a topic, I work an example for you, you do a participation, and then I can explain common issues. Ideally, this would be like 10 minutes. But because of the nature of online, it might have to take like a day between when you work the participation and then I post answers to those. This is also why I do homeworks and lab. You get more and more practice. And importantly, the important steps are you learning how to do it and you doing it. I evaluate you by you doing it, right? You get practice working through it. That's the best way to learn. And that might mean that you are working through stuff that you cannot do already, right? You just learned about something and now you're having to do some practice on it. You don't know how to do it quite yet, so you make mistakes. That's the point. I want you to make mistakes. I want you to struggle when you're working through it initially because you've just learned about it. There's more to learn. There's more to master. So there's going to be some discomfort while you don't know exactly what you're doing. But the idea is, or the hope would be, that that is happening when when the stakes are low, when it's completion graded, when it's something you just learned, but it's not on a test. You make the mistakes when it has the low stakes, so that way you don't make the mistake when it's on the test, something with higher stakes, right? That's why I have a lot of assignments with escalating stakes, There's going to be just graded for completion on the participations. Homeworks, you have to get them right, but you get multiple choice, multiple attempts. And on tests, you got to get it right on the first attempt. So this is what our participation questions will look like. You'll note there's a pretty clear blue border for you. For this first set of videos, I did not put a participation question because of people's needing to get into the class, or not everyone knowing they need to watch videos and stuff. So, but you do have an assignment that is an introduction activity. So these are questions for you to answer, and you don't need to get them right because there's no right or wrong. Instead, it's just introduction questions about you that I would like to know. So I would like you to just answer these questions. There's a discussion board on the main page of Blackboard with introduction questions. You don't need to respond to anyone else's, but you can take a look at them if you want to see other people's and see what they are answering. And also I have sample answers for myself there. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. Oh no, we're not done. We gotta go to Blackboard. I want to show you where these participation questions are. I'll see you over on Blackboard. We'll take a look at the lecture stuff. So we're in Blackboard and interested in watching lecture videos. So you already have to know somewhat how to do that because you're watching one already. But if we scroll down, we'll see in the week modules, it's where everything's always going to be contained. So if we open up the week 1 module, we've got lab in there, we've got our learning resources, and then we've got this lecture document. So you're currently watching a video that's in the lecture 824, 825. That's a Monday and a Tuesday date. So we're going to have a first set of videos, and then we're going to have a second set of videos, 827, 828, August 27th to 28th. That's Thursday, Friday. If we click in there, you'll note we've got some resources. First, we've got the PowerPoints. These are like PDFs. So we've got the PowerPoints. These are the same PowerPoint, just in different formats. So we've got the slide format. That's like 1 slide per page. So this is kind of more envisioned as being used by like a tablet. Someone on like a tablet, whereas the handouts are more printer friendly. If you want to print out, you can use whatever you want with these. If you want to print out the slides, if you want to never look at any of them, it's up to you. But they're going to be there and available. And they'll be up the whole semester if you want to come back and take a look at any of them. I also note then there's the examples related to the lecture. There's 2 formats here. There will be a third in some other videos. Here, the 2 we have are the workable examples. This is a blank document with the questions. The examples I'm going to work in the lecture videos or in the PowerPoints are in here. And they're left blank. This is due to students. Okay, and then I also have, if you go beneath it, this same type of document just with the solutions in there. And so this was motivated by students who wanted to have something where they could work the problems along with me. That I'm going to talk through the examples in the PowerPoints. They could write out answers, and in the PowerPoints or in the slides, the answer's right there. So it's too tempting to just look at that. So if you want to have a blank document, you can print it out, you can download it, write along, doing whatever. You can try to solve the examples on your own, and then watch me explain them, whatever you want to do. Those are available to you. I've just got some resources up to you, however you want to do it. So those are always going to be there. For some videos, there'll be hand solved problems. In this lecture set of videos, there's no examples of me working stuff out by hand. Usually that's when the stuff's more math heavy. There's not a lot of math in chapter 10, this part of chapter 10. And so there's no parts of any of these videos where I am doing stuff by hand that the scans would be here. The scans just don't exist. But in other videos, there'd be a third, say, lecture 827, 828, scanned example solutions. Okay, so then below that, we have the lecture videos. I've embedded the lecture videos, so you don't have to go to YouTube. YouTube is going to really try to get you to go over to YouTube. But that way, you're not having to, like, avoid or ignore recommended videos or anything. You can just watch the videos here. Let's see how loud is this.
Now we want to talk about the types of intermolecular
getting around. And you can see, you can just scoot in, and here's the lecture videos and all the stuff.
If we want to know anything about intermolecular forces, about a compound,
cursor right there,
you want to start
just watch the
with
videos.
Drawing the
you can make it full screen
all
and my video recording, but you can't. You'll know because it's pretty early in this video. Yeah, here is a participation question. So this is what a participation question is going to look like. If I play it all that will go away. It has that blue frame around it, and you'll notice that participation 828. The participation assignments will always be named after the due date. They're due on Tuesday and on Friday. We didn't have a Tuesday for this week because it's the first week, but we will have a Friday participation. That's August 28th for this week. And so this question right here, classify each compound as polar and polar, and then there's 3 compounds. So this is just one question. There will be other questions either in this video or in the rest of these videos here.
that are all these videos that are part of this lecture. So this is the question to answer, or one of the questions to answer. We answer it over here in this participation 828. So this is then, you'll see it's an assessment, it's just an assignment, and it's due on 828, and you would go to, you click view instructions, and then that's how you actually submit it. So I say give your answer to the question that found in the videos in the lecture document above this assignment. You can type your answer in the space, upload a document using paperclip icon, or a combination of both. So if you want to handwrite and then upload a file, that's totally fine. If you want to instead just type out your answers like 1A, you know, like, I don't remember what the question was, but like yes or whatever, right? And, you know, B and whatever. You can do whatever you want. You can type it out. It's pretty common to do a different document, upload it. That's a popular choice. And so then you can submit whatever you've got. And again, it's due on Friday night. So Friday night at midnight is this one. We will have one then Tuesday in week 2. And again, all the questions are in these videos, and you have to watch the videos. The questions are not posted in these handouts, in these PowerPoints. You will not find the questions in here. You have to go to watch the videos. That's the point here. You'll note right here it says participation 828 answers, and it's grayed out. That will become visible on Friday the 28th. There will be a video explaining the answers, and there will also be typed out solutions. So the same kind of thing you get with the lecture here, there will be one of these, the typed out participation examples solutions, or typed participation solutions or something, I can't remember what they call them. And then there'll be just one video for the participation assignment. So same format, same information. And again, you'll have one of those due every Tuesday and every Friday. Not Tuesday this first week, but Friday of this first week. And then, I guess if I go back to the very beginning, we have, where is it? The introduction activity is a question answer discussion board where you just answer those questions about yourself so I can get to know you. It's one of the things I'm going to learn all your names really fast. And if I have no like a fact about you, it makes it infinitely easier to learn everyone's names. Please fill out the introduction activity. That's due Wednesday. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on to other types of assignments in this class. It's not just watching videos. There's other things too. See you there.